Hi, my name is Patrick Kennedy, and this is my informative video for John the Ripper password cracker. John the Ripper is a open source password cracker, and I should probably note that this video is for educational purposes only. Anything shown in this video should be for research and educational purposes only, and not to exploit or damage any system. Alright, with that being said, we'll start with how to get John the Ripper. And so we're going to start with downloading John the Ripper from openwall.com/John. There's quite a few different versions. I'll kind of go over a little bit. These are the Pro versions. You can get them for Linux and Mac. Or I guess if you do on Windows, you can do HashSuite. But since I'm recording on a Mac, and I'm not going to spend money on John the Ripper, so there are official free versions which have been rigorously bug tested, and yeah, and they're pretty solid. And there's community enhanced versions. All right. Now, community enhanced versions, they have things that are not exactly in the full release version, and some things may not work as intended, and some things may break. However, they do have other newer features, and they can be kind of slick. So, and that's what I'm using right now. So, if you were to double click on any of these, I went with John the Ripper 1.0. -jumbo-1. It's going to download itself into a tar.xz file, and then you extract that, and here is my extracted version here. Nice thing about this is that you do get to see source code. If you really wanted to go through and you wanted to build something of your own, you know, it shows all the different things that it goes through, like you know for SSH and salted SHA-1 format, so raw SHA 0, SHA 1. You can see everything that's going on if you actually want to go through, or if and it's got, you can see everything that it can do in here. But when you get John the Ripper, it comes uncompiled. So what you need to do when you first download it, and also if you just get Kali Linux, all the steps are completely null and void. But if you're running on on a Mac, or you want to run this on your Ubuntu, you can download this, and it comes uncompiled. And all you really need to do is go essentially to the source folder. There's everything that we saw there. And then we just do /compile make. And that's it. Hit enter, and it will figure out the Unix version that you're running. So if you're on Mac, 10.10 or Flavor Ubuntu or Red Hat, or I don't know what you got, but yeah, so they'll compile and make, and they'll get you that. And we're not going to go through the whole compile process because it's kind of a time wasting, and you follow command, it should be just fine. So, what are some of the things you can do with John? So we're going to go back into the run folder, and this is the main deal where you run it. I mean, you can also install it as a system-wide deal, but it's just as easy to run John the Ripper from the directory. It doesn't. I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. So, so your standard way of running it, just like any other program in Linux, /John, start it, and then we'll do a path to where you have a file. So this is just a test hash file of some of a few passwords, and we're just going to let it run. And what did I do here? Okay. So all right. So what we did here. Now you can do it this way. But here's the deal. What we ended up doing, and this is kind of, I'm not a complete master of this program. I'm still learning it myself. But I know that these passwords were hashed in MD5 format, and it says warning detected, type LM, but the string also recognizes the HVAL 128, and then Lotus 5, MDC2, everything raw MD4, raw MD5. This is actually what we wanted. Okay. Now what ended up happening is John got confused because all these are 32 bit strings, and also all of these hashes use the same length of hash, so it doesn't, John doesn't really know. So, and it's still working. It's thinking. You can hit the password, or hit the space bar, hit basically any key. But we're just gonna stop that, and then we're going to, let's just add in format equals raw MD5. Alright, let's try that, because that's the format we know it is. We'll do that because I made it myself, and then we'll just hit enter. One second. Oh, you know what? That's because I cracked these earlier. It says no password hashes left to crack. Okay, so that is a mistake on my behalf, but I will show you real quickly what it was. Here we go. Okay, so right here, this is the same command, John format raw -md5, and the same path to the testpass 3.txt. Load 5 password hashes with no different results, raw md5, and then immediately it got all 5 of these passwords. So the first one was password, next one was hello. How about this one? This one is a class favorite of mine, is trust no one, with the 1. So there's even a little bit of word mangling at the end. And word mangling, if that's a kind of a password cracking term, is just you know, kind of random disbursement of numbers and throughout the password. And then the last one, Fluffy, because you gotta have some pet name in there, and banana, because banana. So it took 5 guesses. This is how long it took to crack these. Zeros across the board. It knew instantaneously what these passwords were. It was within the first 500 guesses. 500 guesses per second. 76,000 passwords per second. So, yeah. It started with Andrea 1, and then through Barry, and that's how quickly these very simple passwords, John is going to find them. If it knows the format of the hash, it's going to find them very, very, very quickly. Now I made a much more difficult password hash file, and this one, this is my my first test pass, and this had nothing from a well, it started off with most of the words are not in the dictionary, but they're uncommon words, and there's a little bit of mangling in there, and I had 22 hashes in there. And the problem, John will start to slow down the more hashes you have. So if you have a very small word list like that last one of just 5, it only has to make 5 comparisons on each hash it goes through. So this one, there's 22, and they're moderately complex passwords. I mean, they're all MD5, but so first one we got at 10-minute mark, and then the next one at 26, and then basically this one came right after it, just by luck. So we got 3 of them, and then by the time 3 of them within the first hour, and I hadn't got any other ones within an hour. So you know, MD5, it's not terrible. It's not really all that secure because, you know, my MacBook with its OK processing power, you know, it can still defeat some of these passwords. But and I even had a little bit of knowledge on there. But the other thing that you can do with John is that you can you can use this stdn command, and what you can do from there, and this is kind of cool, is that you can kind of put your own code in there and just pipe it in. So you could do your word list of rock you know, and then you can pipe it in. You can type in your own code, and then after that, then you can do your password path, and from there, and then you can kind of you know, make this as versatile as you really want it to be. Okay, so and you know, and there's all sorts of different dictionaries out there. At OpenWall, getting on their mailing lists, there's always additions to these word lists, and you know, you can download them, you can maintain them yourself, you can add things in. You know, as you start doing more password cracking, you can maintain these things and just keep working on them. You know, the more password cracking you do, you'll start to see trends. You know, start seeing like some of these same passwords coming up over and over again. Well, you can maintain them in your own password list, and it'll just make you better the next time. And John allows you to do that. If you want to, oh, another thing I wanted to bring up. So, if you didn't know exactly what passwords were there, or you know, like I knew on my own password list, these are all MD5s, and that's what I was using with, because it's fairly easy to break. But let's say if it was SHA-1, well, I could also, or actually that should be like raw dash SHA-1. I could do that. I can put in multiple arguments of the format for the hash. You know, so if you got, some of them are MD5, some of them are SHA-1. Okay, well, what's going to happen though is it's gonna take more time, because you know, John's going to make a comparison on all of them. So it may be beneficial to just run and force it to run the MD5 once, get all the passwords out of there, and then run it a second time, rather than doing comparisons for SHA-1 on MD5 hash passwords, because it'll still make the comparison, but it won't, you know, and you'll just be wasting time. So if you have this long list, and then then maybe only 10% of them are SHA-1s, then, but the other 90% are being compared with the MD5, and it's just wasting your time. So save yourself a little bit of trouble in that regard. All right, I just did a little bit of a time check here, and I am at around 18 minutes. So I'm probably going to wrap this up. I hope you guys learned a little bit about John the Ripper, and some of the things that you can do with John. I just showed you just the very basics of what can be done with with John the Ripper. But hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. All right. Thank you.